The difference between a Unimat and a Profimat here is the actual table plate back here on the tail end. One of the things that our old Profimats had too was a very thick, large table plate back there, meaning that in order to get some other features on the machine, we had to sacrifice some movements, or back here on the table plate, ease of movements, I should say.
Okay.
Whereas we actually had to take a backside fence off just to move a table plate and things like that. It was very cumbersome and not easy for the operator to actually use.
Right.
So just like the 700s, we have the same type of plate here. And if I want to remove this plate to take the shim out and do our maintenance, which we should be doing, it's much easier on this machine even than the Unimat series.
Right.
So also, going back to the 700 there, where Michael had mentioned that we have one motor sharing one motor, excuse me, with the right and left spindle. That is not uncommon in our other 700 series either. We have basically 3 versions of a PowerMat 700, one of which the top line is that very fast changeover, everything automated PowerMat 700 we refer to as the HSK machine. It's fully automated, all the push button tool changing and stuff. And then we come back to a PowerMat 700, which is a hybrid machine between the two. At that point on the 700 hybrid and the 700 Eagle, those are both machines that do have the same shared motor as well. So it's not like we're stepping back in the past to rehash something there. We are still currently using that system on the more modern machines too.
Okay, great, yeah. So like Sean said, a lot of the setup features are very similar. In general, the specs that we have on this machine are similar to what we're using on our PowerMat 700. As you can see here on the side, we only have two hand tools to make a complete changeover on the machine and to change the most common settings. Yeah, Sean, if you're ready, I would say let's close the door and run some material through it.
Okay. One more thing I want to point out. When we I just removed this hose so that we could see a little better in the machine. So when Christian backs out, you can see this would be a typical setup. Is this hose is in place. One here, then wrestling with it, and we're always secure up here on the top. So when I am doing a change, normally I'm just going to have a quick release here and actually take that hose and hook it right up here on the top. So it's everything kind of stays on the machine. Another feature too, just before we fire this up and make some racket. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Another feature is when we are coming through the machine, you can see, if you can see this, Christian, there's just the same 2 wrenches again as our other series of machines. We're trying to eliminate the amount of tools that the operator has to be chasing down and stuff as he's doing his normal changeovers. So we're making all the nuts the same size, all the Allens the same size, so that very quickly we can change the rollers on the machine with just one tool. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll hand Michael the microphone and he can walk through and explain what I'm doing on the machine, but it's a very simple basic setup on the machine itself.
All right. Okay, so right now what we would call, we're in a tool change position, machine is opened up. We just changed our cutter heads, and now Sean is bringing the machine into working position. So here he's adjusting the left spindle. He's making the radial adjustment to bring the left head in. All right, so once he has reached the desired value, he simply locks down that adjustment, and now he's going onto the top head.
Point out the colors in the clamping system.
Yeah. So as you can see here on the adjustment for the different axes, there are those are color coded. So we see here we have a blue mark, which we have the blue lock right underneath it. So for every axis we do have a lock, and like I said, those locks are color coded, so it's very easy for the operator to identify which lock he has to open up in order to make the adjustment. Same for the top head, so he adjusted the thickness. The feed beam is on a little servo motor, the height adjustment for it. So right now Sean is bringing the feed beam down.
just get it close here and then use your scale.
Right. So what Sean's saying, with that little button here at the end of the machine, he's bringing it close, and then there's a dial up front. He can look through the window, and there's a little dial in there he can look at while standing in front of the machine to bring the feed beam to the finished height. Okay. All right, guys. While Sean is going back and starting up the dust collector, I just want to talk to you about a little bit about the options or the different configurations that we can have on this machine. So like I said, this is the Profimat 50. We have it here in a 5-spindle, all manual, 460 volts. Now this machine is also available in 220 volts. For some of our customers that are smaller shops, they might not have 460 available, so I think this is a great benefit excuse me, for some of the smaller shops to run this machine off of 220 volt 3-phase. So this would be the 5-spindle. It's also available in a 6-spindle. With that, we would have 2 top hats. And then on all those different configurations, we can have either the all manual setup, which we have here, which means no computer on the machine, which was a request for many years, have a German-built machine without any computer on it. Just a single start button, a single motor start button, and then bring all your axes into position manually. Now, with the option that we call Control Package, what you will get is the Memory Plus system. So there's going to be a small computer right in here. What you will also get is CNC controls on the left, the top, and the feed beam. The left radial, the top radial, and the feed beam, and digital readouts for those specific axes. So the machine with the control system or a control package will basically give you a little bit quicker setup because you do have those motorized axes to make the positioning of the machine. All right, so seems like we're good. So right now, Sean will start the spindles. So because the door is open right now, we can still jog the material through, but he has to hold his finger on the motor start button until all the spindles are started. All right, so now all the machine is running, and he can jog the first piece through. All right, so once the material is in, he is stopping the feet, and he's bringing in the fence after the left spindle to hold it over against the piece of wood. Then we can close the door, and he can finish jogging that piece through the machine. All right, so as you can see here, we're running a little piece of crown molding on this machine. So now Sean just switched the selector key into the automatic position. The feed is already running, so we can feed our material through the machine. All right, so guys, as you can see, even though a very small footprint, all manual machine, but even though it's just a 5-spindle, but you still get the great winding finish.
So it doesn't matter the profile, we're still going to get high quality coming out of the machine, and it's just a matter of matching the numbers up, Mike. It's the same thing that we preach on the rest of our equipment. As long as your tools are good, your profile will be good.
That's right. That's right. All right, Christian, I'm not sure. Do we have any comments in the chat or questions? All right. Well, that's awesome. I think that's pretty much it for this video. I think we went over all the basics. Guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the chat. Or other than that, you can reach out to your regional manager or to your local agent. They will be able to give you as much information as you need. The machine is now in the showroom, so it's ready to demo. If you wish, if you're in the area or if you want to stop by or schedule an appointment with us, we would love to have you over and make an in-person demo for you. All right, I think that's it for today, or for this morning, for the session, first video with the P50. Guys, please stay tuned. Today we have a lot more information coming up for you. And with that, I'll say goodbye and we'll see you later.